Hey there, good to have you here. Welcome to Heart Hustle, the space where we talk honestly about love, emotions, attraction, and all the human messiness that comes with connection. In today's video, we're diving into a topic that almost everyone faces at some point: emotional neediness. But more than that, we're going to talk about the mistakes we tend to make when we're feeling emotionally needy and how to stop sabotaging ourselves in the name of just wanting to be loved. If you've ever sent a message to someone just because you couldn't stand the silence, or if you found yourself accepting way less than you deserve just to not be alone, this video is for you. So take a moment now to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support means a lot and helps me keep creating sincere content like this. Let's get into our top 5. Top 5. Ignoring your own values just to please someone else. When emotional neediness takes over, there's this inner urge to make people like us, at any cost. And that often leads us to go against our own beliefs, stay quiet when we disagree, and say yes just to avoid tension, even when our whole body wants to scream no. You start suppressing your truth, avoiding conflict like the plague, and becoming a watered-down version of yourself. But the problem is, this doesn't create genuine connection. It creates submission. It builds resentment. At first, it may seem like you're making things easier, but over time, you lose yourself. And when that happens, the relationship becomes hollow. Because no one falls in love with someone who's trying too hard to be perfect. People fall in love with someone real. So ask yourself, am I showing up as myself? Or am I performing a version of me just to keep someone around? Top 4. Getting emotionally attached too quickly to any form of attention. When you're feeling emotionally needy, any act of kindness, a compliment, a sweet text, a flirty smile, can feel like an invitation to fall in love. The other person says hi with a little sparkle, and suddenly you're daydreaming about vacations together and giving names to your future kids. But this rapid emotional attachment usually comes from fear. The fear that this is your last shot at love. So you cling, you idealize, you build fantasies that have no real foundation. The danger is that you don't actually get to know the person. You fall in love with the idea of them. And when reality hits, it hurts. Love needs time. It needs space to breathe. It needs observation, not desperation. The key is to recognize attention for what it is, not overvalue it, and not turn every little spark into a wildfire. Top 3. Staying in toxic relationships just to avoid being alone. This one cuts deep. Some people know they're in a relationship that hurts them, where they're disrespected, manipulated, emotionally drained. And yet they stay. Why? Because being alone terrifies them. Others rush into confusing, undefined, or emotionally unavailable connections just to not feel empty. As if any connection is better than none. But here's a hard truth. Staying in a harmful relationship just to avoid loneliness is like choosing slow emotional death over temporary silence. Neediness blinds us to red flags. It whispers, "At least you're not alone." But at what cost? Loneliness is painful, yes, but it can be healing too. Being alone gives you the space to rebuild. Being in a toxic dynamic only drains your self-worth. So ask yourself honestly, what's hurting more? Being by myself, or staying with someone who keeps breaking me? Top 2. Trying to force emotional reciprocity where there is none. When we're feeling emotionally desperate, we often refuse to accept the obvious, that some people just aren't into us the way we're into them. They barely reply to messages. They're always busy. They give cold responses, avoid vulnerability, and yet we keep chasing. We tell ourselves they're shy, or they've been hurt before, or they just have a different love language. But the truth is often simpler. They're not emotionally available, or they're just not interested. Love doesn't need convincing. Real connection flows naturally. If you have to constantly explain your worth or beg for crumbs of affection, you're not in a relationship. You're in a one-person performance. You deserve mutual desire, not one-sided effort, not painful waiting, not hope that constantly disappoints. Let go of trying to force something. You're not hard to love. You've just been choosing people who aren't capable of loving you back. Top 1. Abandoning yourself just to feel loved. This is the most dangerous and the most common mistake of all, forgetting who you are in the process of trying to be loved by someone else. You stop doing what you enjoy. You stop dressing for yourself. You stop hanging out with people who make you laugh. You stop dreaming. You stop choosing you. Everything becomes about keeping the other person interested. Your life becomes smaller, and you start feeling smaller too. But here's the truth. The moment you disconnect from your essence, you lose the very thing that makes you magnetic. Your energy, your joy, your passion, your independence. That's what makes people fall for you, not your effort to mold yourself into what you think someone wants. Instead of chasing love, start living your life fully. Chase your goals. Laugh. Learn new things. Be so deeply in love with yourself that when someone comes along, it's not to fill a void. It's to walk beside a whole person. Emotional neediness doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But letting it run your life, that's when it becomes a problem. The more aware you become of these patterns, the more power you have to break them. And the more you connect with yourself, the less you settle for people who only meet you halfway. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Which one of these mistakes have you seen in yourself or in someone close to you? I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, subscribe to Heart Hustle, hit that bell so you don't miss future videos, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Take care of yourself. You are already enough, with or without someone next to you. See you next time.